Okay. Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Yoko from Japan. Welcome back to my channel. I'm live from Fukuoka Prefecture, Japan. How are you guys doing? I am so sorry that I'm late again. Extremely late. Sorry for that. But hey, you're here. Ahoy, beautiful people. Hello. Thank you so much for coming, as always. Hello. Thanks for coming. What are the news for today, Miss Yoko-san? This. Bam, bam, bam. Moscow, terrorism, 133 people dead. And you see the picture too. Whole gun shooting, 11 captured. Huge news here in Japan as well. And my first impression was, of course, I was blown away by the fact that there was terrorism after, in Trump era, we thought, Trump administration ended the war against terrorism. And that's how we shifted to the war against China, right? Basically. But now we are back in time again. And that was my first impression. And at the same time, Islamic, what is it called? ISIS? Or is it ISIS, I guess. So the organization is has been the enemy of Russia. So I'm not surprised by that. This has happened before as well in Russia. So, and what before I get into that, I will greet to everybody, I guess. Hello, thank you so much for coming, even though this is late. Hey, thanks for coming. Yeah, it's a terrible news. How are you? How are y'all? How are y'all? How are you guys? Sleeping? Yeah, many are sleeping, I guess. But sleeping people can't say. But yeah, this horrible news. Of course, I am against terrorist actions. Terrorism is something that I cannot tolerate. But at the same time, according to the information that I read through this, on this newspaper, so basically the US had known about this plan of terrorism beforehand. And 2 weeks ago, they sent the embassy, US embassy in Russia. They had given the information to the American residents in Russia to basically not evacuate, but be careful of terrorism, especially in including concert halls and so on. Like they had said that to warn the people, Americans that were living there. And then also the US embassy in Russia, they shared the information with Putin as well. But Putin didn't care about it. It's some made up stuff by the White House, or whatever, the CIA, I guess, by America, basically. And so Putin didn't care. And the newspaper here wrote in the way that, Putin Putin had the information, but he couldn't avoid the terror attack, was the expression that they used. And I found it so wrong, because I know that Putin just let it happen. He knew that it was going to happen because he got the information. Like America wouldn't lie about stuff like that. And Putin just let that terrorism happen so that he can justify his actions against whatever attack that he becomes a victim, right? And victimhood, when you are a victim, everything is justified, right? When you do counterattacks, or for his case, he can strengthen the system to protect Russia, right? Now Ukraine, like the war between Ukraine and Russia, it is dragging because Ukrainian soldiers cannot enter Russia, right? Because Russia is threatening with nuclear weapon, right? So that's the picture. But Ukraine sends or other troops, maybe like they are sending, like Russians do, like, against Putin regime, they are sending drones, right? And they attack Moscow and so on. But the troops, real troops, like human soldiers, cannot enter because it's a threat. However, you never know what's going to happen, right? And I bet that Putin is now like, he's very cautious, and at the same time he had the election, and I bet that there is frustration of the people, like they had to vote for him or else like they get in danger, so they had to listen to Putin. And I bet that the frustration is piling up, and now the Russians might like they are gonna be sent to battlefields, and like more people, so that's gonna suck for them. And I bet that there's frustration, and Putin wants to, at the same time, Putin has to protect himself, right? So this works in favor for him, even though it's attacked by the Islamic State, or is it ISIS, right? I don't know what it's called now, and I don't know what we are supposed to call them, but yeah. And this is the picture that I see of this terrorism attack, and how Putin is behaving and is going to behave is the same as China. Like when ISIS was active back in, like, for America, Obama administration, Islamic terrorists were something that we are all paying, like, warned about, like we were cautious of them, right? And Xi Jinping, he is oppressing Uyghurs. And who are Uyghurs? They're Muslims. And so that when like Islamic terrorism happens, Xi Jinping could say, like, see, Muslims are dangerous, so let's catch them. So, let's catch Uyghurs for them. So that's how Xi Jinping justified it. And because of the dynamics, Uyghurs, some Uyghurs, it's not all of them, there are some minority of the Uyghurs that attend, like they join the terrorists as well because of that. So that sort of things happen. And I see the same thing with Putin, that he can now act like a victim, and also he can justify strengthening the security system in Russia, basically like serve all the surveillance among the citizens and so on. It will be strengthened, I think. So when that happens, it's not a good thing for Ukrainians and all the nation states that are working with them, that are under oppression by Russia. And this reminds me of Chechen Republic people too, because they have been oppressed by Russia. They are fighting back, and they are Muslims too. So yeah, it's interesting though that, like, I come from Japan, and I don't think about religions much at all. Like when we look at other countries, we just recognize the differences of countries, or nation states, right? And not with the religious backgrounds, because we don't really think about it as Japanese. But I realize, like, religions matter a lot too. And what was interesting about this attack was that it was some hall, right? Like a big hall where the concert was taking place. And it has happened before too, in Paris, Moscow and Paris, as I shared on X. Yeah, because I guess I'm not a terrorist, and I don't have terrorist friends, so I don't know. But I guess that because the exits are limited, and then there are lots of people inside, they can't get out easily, and it's easy to capture the hostage or kill them to create massive sacrifice and so on. Yeah, it's awful that we have to like I do get the mixed feelings too, because like I'm against terrorism, but do I sympathize for Russian people? Like Russian people that are against Putin, that cannot voice their opinions, I sympathize with them. But at the same time, they are like Putin supporters, and if they are sacrificing stuff like this, it's karma, right? And I hope that people will wake up, but I don't think that it will work vice versa, though, I think, because they are a victim now together with Putin. So I'm thinking about stuff like that. But as I receive comments in this stream, I guess I will add more to what I have to say. We need Trump 2024 seriously. Yeah. Oh, that's one thing I have to mention, that we're now like reversing the clock. I feel that this is like 2015 again. When Obama was in the office, and Biden is basically Obama 2.0 or something like that. 2.0, that's how you say. But anyway, yeah, this is the continuation of Obama administration, right? And I am thankful, though, that what's different from Obama administration era is that now our focus is on China. Back then, it wasn't like they were still having the pivot, like they were shifting, and then Trump came into the office and he dramatically changed the policy of the US, and Biden is carrying on that policy, right? So like now the China is a competitor to the US, which is good for us Japanese too. But of course, like Biden, during the time that Biden is in the office, of course, all the enemies, whether it's Putin or, Iran or North Korea, whatever, like all these enemies, or even this like terrorists, they can see that America is weak right now. And they financially too, that America is giving so much money and so much cost, including the lives of the soldiers. Like they are like, it's lots of burdens for America, and the world knows it. And even though as alliance nation for Japan, for example, like we are sharing the burdens, like we are, I am proud as a Japanese citizen now, because our leadership is willingly cooperating with the US, and we are adjusting ourselves to become stronger, and back in the day, right after the war to, I don't know, to the 90s or so, America didn't want us, Japan, to be stronger because we were the threat for them. They didn't see it. Americans didn't see it. We were the threat instead of China. So they invested in China, not us. We were shrinked. We shrinked or shrunk, shrinked. Sorry, I don't know the grammar. Yes, and China grew, and now we are here. At the same time, though, because especially Clinton was President Clinton was such a symbolic time, that his diplomacy is something that we call Japan passing, not Japan bashing, but passing. He passed Japan and went to China first, and so on. And that was symbolic. So when we see that, then we are like, yeah, we will invest in China as well. So like we were both, like Japan and America both raised China, and boom, we raised this monster. So yeah, I am not against Chinese people, by the way. I am against their policies and their leadership, Chinese Communist Party. I have to say that because some people might misunderstand me as racists. There are lots of Chinese people that are fighting against a CCP leadership and communism. Basically, they're against the dictatorship, and there are lots of people that want democracy in China And China has such an economical gap that I can't generalize Chinese people, but it's hard to generalize them. But still, there are lots of people that could work with us, with a free world. And I am really hoping to guide, or push. I can't guide, like I don't have the massive power, but I want to push, China for the better way. Yeah. If Trump was here, China would not be doing anything. I agree. So that's why I realized, like, with the terrorism, rising too. When we consider that, I realized that we need Trump. I mean, right now it's Trump versus Biden, so of course Trump would be better. The only concern is Ukraine. Like I don't want Trump to cut the fund for Ukraine. That if he's doing what he says that he will, though, already, by threatening the European countries, to share the burdens more. America is willingly helping Ukraine, but European countries like NATO nations, they should be more active, right? Even Japanese people are doing that. We are so far away, but yeah, we're engaging as well. So I really hope that European countries will be more active too. But we need to fix this economy though worldwide. We're in this bad cycle. So Yokoishi-san, konnichiwa, konnichiwa. When you spell my name in Japanese, it's Youko. You need the u in between, Youko. But thank you. Yes. Islamic dake, I don't know. It's reported that it is. Yeah, there's this like for Putin, of course, he wants to mix or misguide the narrative that, oh, this is like he knows that it's by Islamic State or whatever it's called. But he wants to probably, if I were him, I would connect that terrorists with Ukraine, because they run away to that direction, right? Yeah, and we have to be sure of all this information. There are lots of people on social media that just connect the dots that they can't really connect. So by their imagination. So we gotta be careful. I honestly think the US need an alliance with Russia since Russia have nukes. That sounds like the policy that Ramaswamy was having. He was saying, Vivek Ramaswamy was saying when he was running that the America needs to tear China-Russia relation apart, to grab Putin to our side and leave China alone. I guess Shinzo Abe was doing stuff like that too. That he was close to Putin. He had a good diplomatic relation with Russia. But I read what he was saying at the time, like before. Was it before? No, regarding the war, I guess that it's all this diplomatic tactic is important, and you should work on that. To put have Putin on our side. That maybe that was the way, but this war has already broken out, and we are in the middle of the war, and it doesn't work that way now. So yeah. After this, I don't think that, like my country, for example, I don't think that we could have a good relationship with Russia anymore. Especially like with the first thing first, like our northern territories are illegally occupied by Russia, just like Crimea. Russia came in illegally after the war, like when the World War II was ending, and illegally they came down and occupied our territories. And it's just I guess that we were kind of lucky, even though it was such a unfortunate situation. At least it's not like Russia came in all the way and like in the way that Russia is doing right now to Ukraine. That our country somehow didn't become that way so far. Maybe after Crimea, maybe after Ukraine, and maybe that's what maybe Putin will look at us next. Who knows? Ohio, Ohio. So glad that you guys are still awake. Hello, Yoko and Hide. Yeah, Hide went out and he just came home. I think he went to grab some dinner, something for dinner. It's 4:30 p.m. here. It's rainy, by the way. It's so dark. I'm very scared with this president that we have here now. I'm truly scared. Yeah. I mean, but still, it's half a year and a bit more to go. But by November, of course, like the inauguration is in January, but basically, like next year, I wonder what we will be saying this time next year. I wonder how the world will have become by then. Yeah. But the thing is that let's say that Trump gets elected. Of course, all our enemies, like Putin, Xi Jinping, and everyone else, like they are assuming the scenario that Trump is gonna win, right? So now is the time for them to do whatever they want. This is the last chance for them, right? So this year, I guess, is the time that we have to be extra careful, I guess. Yeah. Oh, the first one is correct, Yoko. Yes, thank you. I think Japan is our strongest alliance. That's very nice of you to say that. Thank you. I believe so. Biden brothers bothers us as we have, as he drove Russia and China together. That's true. We hate him because he's bringing even more third world trash. Trump has too many obstacles to overcome. Yeah, the deep state feds and Biden administration has too much back and like big tech source, Yeah, it's extreme. All this big power against him. And Trump too, like he's got all these cases, that damage his financial situation and everything. And some people just buy the fact that he is, he has got the cases. Some people don't like it, but just by the fact. So it is common election year nonsense. Yeah, because the last time, was it the last time the BLM was so active? It's interesting that they are not active right now. But every time, right? Every time election year, it's crazy. As for Japan, this year has begun with a horrible incidents too that we had. On the first day, we got this huge earthquake, which is still affecting us. And the second day, was it a Coast Guard plane? Like these people died, and the plane, ordinary people like us will get on the plane, but it got on fire as well. It's so awful. But hello, Yoko. Hello. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah. So, is everyone talking about terrorism? This terrorism in America? I wonder how things are different. Oh, but on the same front page of the newspaper today, by the way, they're talking about the money issue, money scandal in LDP, and yeah. Huh? Oh yeah, Shohei Ohtani. Did you guys hear about that? Shohei Ohtani is facing all this legal situation. Awful. Oh yeah, by the way, this the second page says how this. It's like China is backing Russia when it comes to Gaza and stuff like that. And all in Hong Kong. They're treating this in a huge way. Terrorism information not used. Oh, super chat! Thank you so much for your super chat. Here, people think the CIA did the attack. Oh my gosh. What do you think, guys, about that? Always. We hear that always. Let's ask my husband what he thinks. アメリカでは CIA がやったとみんな思ってますって。I liked his reaction. I will do that. He was like, my husband, when I read your comment to him, my husband was like, 泣かないですか、言葉。やったと思ってるよって。まあでも、SNS にいるよ、普通に。So what do you think the benefits, like, or at least those who are saying that, what do you think that what would CIA and America get from this terrorism? Because you do all this stuff, CIA or any organization, they take actions because there are things that they want. And what do they want from that? Yoko-san, FSB? If FSB, the Russian intelligence agency, if they did that, that would make sense. But if CIA did it, doesn't make sense. It's what my husband is saying right now. Yoko-san, what do you think if Shinzo Abe was alive? What laws do you think would prove past Shinzo Abe? Rest in wonderful peace, Shinzo Abe. Thank you so much. What laws in what genre you mean? I think that Kishida right now is actually doing what he wanted to do. So, yeah. In Japan, it's like if you are on the right side, generally just you don't have to be extremely conservative, but if you are on the right side, and if you are realistic about what we face, like if your approach is realistic, then we all do the same thing or think of the same thing. Oh, Japan, it doesn't have this system or this laws, and so we work on that, or we are behind in this field like IT or AI and that sort of things, and then we build a system for that. So they were caught and they had Ukrainian passports, so they were Ukrainian combatants. The terrorists テロリストがウクライナのパスポート持ってた？そんな情報あるの？I haven't heard of that. My husband says, so what? They've been doing this crap for decades to fuel the military industrial complex. 軍事産業強化するために何十年もやってんだって。I've been hearing that same story over and over again for decades, yeah. But that doesn't lead to the fact that they would do that, the attack in Moscow. Like, what's the benefit of doing that? Killing innocent people. Not fully innocent, but you know what I mean. Like, no armed people in the hall. What's the point? You and I all. Same as me. Yoko-san, will Japan and South Korea be closer from this point onwards? I hope some sort of an alliance is from that side of US-JP military like work closer with South Korea and Southeast Asian countries. That'll be ideal, I think. Like, it's not up to us, it's up to South Korea. Because Japan has been reaching out our hands, our arms, for such a long time, and it's South Korea that is bashing us, just like China too. It's them that bash us, and so yeah. But right now, though, I think that South Korean people are waking up to what's really happening and the true threat for them in the big picture, like China. South Korea is, if you look at the geography, their location sucks. Right next to them there's China, so they don't want to be swallowed into them, but at the same time they don't want to fight like face to face because they don't want to be destroyed. So they have to be kind of smart about how they behave, right? And to them, Japan, I guess, could be a threat too. So they have to pick a side, depending on the situation. So they go back and forth in where they stand politically. So that has been the issue for us. And we had the annexation before, but it is taught in Korea right now that it was a colonization and blah, blah, blah. And all this hatred based education is there. And they teach even all this fabrication crap. But now I guess that it doesn't benefit them. So now they just look at what China is doing, and we have common enemies, and now we are, closer than before, and that is great. Culturally too, that especially Japanese, maybe it's not only young people, but young people feel close to South Korea, and they often travel to Korea, and they imitate Korean fashion, foods, and they listen to Korean music and so on, like Japanese people, young people. They do that here. And vice versa. Koreans come here as well, to travel and so on. Yeah. There is very much ethnic hatred between Ukrainians and Russians. They don't need a reason to harm innocent civilians. The hatred is... You're talking about Ukrainians, but I'm talking about terrorists that attacked Moscow yesterday. So, see, like, it's already happening. Like, just looking at your comments, it's mixed, right? And that's exactly what Putin wants, to justify what Putin is doing to Ukraine, killing all these people. taking up their land and so on. Oh, super chat, thank you. Hello, Yoko. Are the Kurds still causing trouble in Japan, or have they been behaving as of late? でも英語では Kurdish っていうよ。わかりますよ。Yeah, still the same, I think, right? 変わってないよね。クルドの問題っていうのは。じゃあ、クルド人はまだなんかいろいろやってんの？ガチャガチャして。ガチャガチャやってるし、逆にこのクルドの問題を訴えてた例のやつをジャーナリスト石井訴えた。石井を訴えどっち側が？クルド人がそうかそうか。あいつはクルドに反対する側だったから。唯一クルドの問題を言ってるのは多分ジャーナリストとして彼が一番やってるんだろう。So there's a journalist named the same as us, Ishii, Mr. Ishii. Not related to us, by the way, but there's this guy, Ishii, and he is he's a self-claimed journalist, and he has been handling this Kurdish problem in Japan. But Kurdish people, is it prosecuted? でいいの？なんの？訴える。英語でなんていうのかなそういう。like appealed, like they made a case against him. So it's getting worse, I guess, in that way. But our national diet members and so on, like our national diet level, they know of this problem. And I sense some diplomatic situation as well, including Turkey. So the word, I feel like I personally want our government to just send them back to Turkey, and just, get the karma. But I don't know. But it is the Kurdish problem is why I think those that use the internet know a lot about it, but people like ordinary people don't get notified, or they don't hear about it on the news. So I don't think that they are familiar with the issue. But at the end of the day, though, we are in Japan, we have rule of law. So I'm not too worried about it. Even though the leftists are, of course, they are lawyers and so on. They know how to use the law. So we gotta be careful, but it's not as crazy as America in some areas of America, if you know what I mean. Giver. Yeah. Been seeing a lot about the Kurds on X, but the Japanese posters are the black font types. Oh, yeah. After what you've told me, I've started being cautious about everything they say. Yeah. Like right wings. Our right wings, they want problems. They like problems. If the terrorists disappear, no public court or imprisonment. Yeah, if they disappear, then it is highly likely a frame up on Ukraine by another country. The Muslim world say those slights against Islam itself, so jihad was declared. Yeah, the terrorists, this Islamic State, whatever, like they have been against Putin for long. So it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise that they attack Putin or, Russia. See, this is a list of terrorism in Russia. by Muslims. So 1999, 2002, 2004, 2015, 2017, they've been doing that. So all the crap about CIA doing it, I'm like, like, what do you mean? You know, there was forum by those those nation states that are oppressed by Russia, and like we held the forum here in Japan. They are doing it worldwide, you know, and that's where we had that last August, and through that event I got to know not only Ukrainians but lots of people from lots of different nation states that are oppressed by Russia. And I realized that the history, around that area is so complex. They've got lots of history. And I realized that, people like myself in Japan or even Americans, we are not familiar with what's going on there. And we really need to learn first before connecting the dots by our limited knowledge. You know what I mean? お、頑張ってください。誠にありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。頑張ります。Too soon to know at this point. Yeah, we have to stick to what we know and what we don't know. Like we have to acknowledge how far we know and how from where we don't know. And some people just don't like the fact that they don't know somehow. I don't get that. In order to make a judgment, you have to be sure of all these information sources. Like I used to, I wonder how long, but recently, like after Trump lost the last time, all this information online became chaotic, and especially now Elon Musk bought Twitter and turned it into X, and how he changed the censorship and so on. Because of everything, all the political situation and Elon Musk's influence, the information that we get on social media now is pretty chaotic, especially on X. And I used to be one of those people that are against the mainstream media. I was saying stuff like, fake news, and I would try to collect information, but I was doing that through the internet often. But today, look at me, I read newspaper, right? And I watch TV a lot now. Because all this information online, it is so crazy, and it's just takes a while just to learn what is true and not. And newspaper and TV programs, of course, they have their narrative, but it's only a narrative. Still, like because of the business that they are running, they have to be true to the facts, right? So the numbers or the places that take place and so on, it is facts that are reported. So I just look at them and I find my own narrative by looking at that and comparing to what happened in the past and so forth. And I am now very careful when I'm on social media, if you know what I mean. Yep. So, I guess that many people are asleep today. Any question about Japan or whatever? なんかあったかな話題。大谷翔平。Is it a big topic in America about Shohei Ohtani? Because over here in Japan, like Shohei Ohtani has been such a like our hope, in the international society, and we've been congratulating him every time there's something that he did historically, or even his marriage and so on. And then there came this scandal, and we are really really sad about it, and also we are just hoping the best for him. But Americans, for example, they don't see the same way as we do, of course. Like, he's a foreigner to Americans, and there's a contract, you know, uh, uh, with the team. And so I get, and also America is such a like a law-based country. Over here in Japan, we're a lot about, we care about emotions and like morality and so on. So when the story came out, and when Ippei, the interpreter, when he first had said that Otani paid for him for his gambling thing, we took it as, oh, Otani is such a good guy, right? But legally speaking, that's wrong, right? And we don't know the correct story, because maybe the guy said that to protect himself. He created that story to involve Otani that way, to avoid his consequences. But we don't know. But I wonder how it is reported there. I just came. Oh, hi, Yoko. Hello. Thank you so much for coming. Hmm. 10 minutes before. Thank you so much for watching this for this late. I will try to wake up earlier. I was sleep deprived for the past 2 days, and yeah, I was slow this morning. His manager was betting. Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe he was doing the manager thing too, but he was translating. And Japanese people saw that team, Shohei and Ippei, the translator. They were close, and also the translation was really really good. So like, we were impressed by him. We were praising him and the team, like a friendship and so on. It's beyond the work buddies, it's friendship, and we were beautifying that. And then this happened, and we are like, California wants to change his contract so they can tax his earnings more. Huh. Interesting. Yeah. I guess it's not a big news there, maybe. Hmm. Why didn't you sign on Getter? I am well known already in Real America's Voice, and my commercial is being played alongside Maga Patriots. That's awesome. I'm on Getter. I am just not logged in because it's so hard when it comes to social media. Um, because I am on YouTube and X mostly, and I like, am I supposed to say the same thing on another application? Yeah, but I should check it more. Like, I don't even get on Truth Social. I should, like, but when I do, I just look at what Trump has to say. Just check in to see Trump there. So Gabby's okay. Find people you trust from other sides. Yeah. Is Gab is still a thing? Japanese people only get on X, Twitter, X and Instagram. Yeah, a lot of people use Instagram and YouTube to the just basic stuff, I think. Yeah, like I play mobile games, right? I play Call of Duty Mobile, and now Warzone Mobile is out, so I play that too. But all this FPS player type of kids that I know, they are every day they are on X and Instagram. That's basically the only stuff that they use mainly. And some of them use this app about, what is it called, Be Real or stuff like that. Like they open the application and they have to take a picture instantly, like or like there's a time that they are supposed to, I guess they get notified and take a picture of where you are and what you're doing. You just take a picture and not without any filter. You just post it, and that's their thing now. And I hear stuff, yeah. I guess that's the old apps that I hear on a daily basis. It's interesting. Ooh, Discord. Oh, I'll open it, but I'm not using that too, though. What do you like? I don't know how to use Discord. What is that? Is it like a chat room type of thing? What am I supposed to do there? Gab is less popular after Elon Musk. Ah, I see. There are programs that will auto-publish to your account, so you only have to do one post and it goes to. Wouldn't I have to pay for that kind of service? Because I signed up for something before, and I realized that I don't have to use that and stuff. Discord is a chat, yes. It also has voice and video call on it. Oh, okay. Do you guys regularly use that app? Hi, Yoko-chan, konbanwa, konbanwa. Again, my name. It's Youko. Americans especially, I don't know if it's the same for British people or Australian people. Americans, when they speak, they stress easily, right? Like I don't know, I don't have anything good. Like, let's see, newspaper is called shimbun. Americans would call it shimbun. Right? Shimbun. Right? But Japanese people, shimbun. But Americans, shimbun. So when they call my name, they're like, Yoko. Right? I'm like, I'm Yoko. Americans are like, Yoko. I don't know. It's so funny when you think about it. And that's why when I speak English, it's so hard because I go monotone, when I'm supposed to have all this flow and so on. Discord is interesting. You can also post on message boards, which everyone on a server can read. I guess I should. Like, gamers use Discord to connect microphones. Is it the same Discord? I feel like such a grandma. Personally, don't use Discord. They locked my account after I changed PCs and they seem to fail at sending a request. I see. Unless you can identify the lies when it comes to this program for shows or website for channel. Yoko. Maybe that's my thing now. Hi, I'm Yoko. I need a gesture. Oohs are very hard for me. You speak beautiful English. Oh, thank you. I listen to English all day long, just so you know. Some people, like some Japanese people, go study abroad, especially during university or college, but they come back here and they forget. Why? Because they don't use it, right? And you don't have to use it, I just listen every day, all day long. So YouTube and Netflix, whatever. And that's why I don't, that is exactly why I don't know my own country's entertainment, because I'm spending my time on English entertainment to, I guess, to, keep up with English. And also, I want to learn every day about new vocab or expression or whatever. Good morning, Yoko. I saw a video today that in Japan, the average lifespan of a house is 30 years. And you tear it down and rebuild. Is that really a thing? What we do is we do renovation often, at least. I don't think we tear it down completely, but we renew some parts, I think. 日本の家って30年ぐらいしか持たないから壊して建て直すって話を聞いたっていう人がいるんだけどさ、しないよね。Yeah, we don't do that. Likeでもリノベはするやん。中はね。So like interior, like the walls and maybe the system, like a kitchen system or whatever. Like we would change that, but not the entire house. So some people keep the same house for like 100 years, for example. Yeah. Or even if you look at the affected area of the earthquake in Ishikawa prefecture, they got affected so much because the houses were so old, and they were like those buildings were not built on today's standards. So, yeah. Am I banned from the chat? No. Did I miss your comments? I don't see your comments. Maybe you failed to send. School can't help with gaming too. I see. American English is a language that punches. British English seems softer. Really? British English is like, it's so aggressive to my ears. British sound like, I don't know. How are you doing? Or something like that. I can't hear. I want to practice British English. It'll be fun. But I will miserably fail, though. It's so hard. The thing about European people is that they speak with like right at the front of their mouth, I feel. Lots of spit. No offense, but it's just a characteristic, I think. But like when I watch them, it's like so much mouth in like to the front, and Americans are like inside, right? And Japanese people are like, yeah, it's inside, but Europeans use like so much front, I think. And the sound are all like it's so aggressive. Whether it's French or German or whatever, it's like it's all aggressive to me. Anyway, sorry for rambling about stuff like this. But I just ran out of what to talk about. So, like, politically speaking, I have some newspaper here. Though, maybe I have something. But it's already 59 minutes, so I have to go to. Oh, from March 17th. Two Japanese people are to land on the moon with the help of the US, I believe. Yeah. It's so cool that Japan and America are so close now. Yeah. Not much news lately, for Japan. Like we are in the middle. Like is it just me? But I feel like our life, like we have ups and downs, and also there are times that we are extremely politically busy, and there are other times that we are not. So like since last year or so, I think that politically speaking, at least, like everything has been just dragging and nothing new is happening. We're just rebuilding our systems, and nothing much is happening, which is a good thing, though, I think. And we just have to. Oh yeah, speaking of which, China, though, be aware of China. China and the Philippines, they are fighting. Basically, it's not a war level, but they're like what you call water cannon. Yeah, China is using water cannon to Philippines. So just for joining chat lobbies for gaming or streaming a group chat. Oh, I see. So you can create a chat lobby. I see. That's how they are doing that. I see. I see. I need to cook and other chores. Have German all classes by 9 p.m. Japan time. That's awesome. Bye bye. Thank you. Serbian. Dovidenja or Denya. Vida Shuang. Man, I took German as my second language, second foreign language in university. And all I remember is like, ich heiße Yoko, and auf Wiedersehen, Guten Tag, Guten Morgen, stuff like that. I don't remember anything because I was sleeping in that class. I somehow got a credit though. The professor was so nice. Oh, a lot of people in America use TikTok and Discord and Instagram, kind of Twitter. Oh yeah, I guess young people are using TikTok too, and Discord and Instagram and kind of Twitter, but not as much anymore. I see. Yeah, TikTok is popular here too, which is a problem. And for that, I am impressed by Marco Rubio. By the way, he is actively, trying to ban TikTok in America. In my opinion, you should, because it's not only about the Chinese Communist Party controlling the information, or how the algorithm should be and so on. It's not only about that, but also it's a Chinese app, right? It's a Chinese app. You gotta, especially when China is a competitor to you, just get rid of them. And make the world use your application instead. Is a good way to think, I think. Because like China is not gonna be friendly to you because China is banning your app in China, right? So do the same. That's what I think about TikTok. And people in my country, though, like we don't have the sense of security much at all when it comes to social media. So like even the messenger app that we use called Line, it often has problems, about information leaking and so on. It just keeps happening, which is not a good thing. But yeah, we Japanese people need to learn how to use all this technology. Is it in Japan right now, evening or afternoon? It's 5 p.m. and my husband just prepared our rice for us. And he's sleeping on my gaming chair. I need to go now, I guess. American entertainment is currently. Did I tell you guys that I watched なんだっけ Braveheart? I watched that for the first time a while ago. Oh, super chat! Thank you. I've been wondering lately, how do Japanese people see American or European politics? I hope your country can avoid some of our mistakes. When it comes to America, the border situation, we laugh at it, I guess. we cannot believe that people can just walk into your country. Doesn't make sense, especially because our islands are protected by the oceans. It doesn't happen, right? Nobody is gonna swim here. So yeah, but still, like it's crazy. Like, what are the laws for and stuff like that? But I think that generally speaking, Japanese people have this mentality that we are behind of all the other countries in the world, especially the Western nations. That we are somehow, even though, in my opinion, we are advanced in a lot of things, but or culturally too, we are advanced in many things, and I'm proud of that. But the majority of the people here, they somehow think that we are inferior to the whites, especially, or even it's not only white people, even Africa. I was watching this liberal show yesterday on TV, and they were talking about how our technology is behind, which is true, but like I feel like he was trying to, boost the image of like African countries even. Yeah, we are behind in technology though, like on a daily use, like when we pay or stuff like that. We still use cash, for example. In other countries, you use credit cards and so on. And there are pros and cons, and also we have lots of natural disasters and, all the good digital services, like it can be damaged and we still have to carry on with our everyday life. So like we do need the backup system and so on. So a lot to think about. But some people like to compare with the same premise, that they have in their head and compare and think that we are behind. And it's not a recent thing, I think, that historically, like our ancestors too, or it's not the ancestor, it's like our past generations. It was true that Western countries were ahead in that time, like especially the 18th century. And is it do you call that 18th century, like 1800 something, I guess, like a what's it called, like a revolution, industrial revolution in what is the UK at that time? I don't know what to call the country, but yeah, like our people would go study and so on. And when it comes to politics, just generally politics, I feel like America or the UK or European countries, like they have a functioning political system, I think, because and our national diet is, even though it's working well, like we are talking about stupid things, not the policies, but about all this like stupid problems, very low class level problems. So yeah. どう思いますか？アメリカのとかの日本人がアメリカとかヨーロッパの政治をどう見ているか。judo. Another super chat, thank you. Japanese people shouldn't feel inferior. Technological advancement has gotten to the point in the West where we have a lot of useful things, but not very many useful people that can be dangerous. That's a good point. Especially now that you have all these illegal immigrants. What I feared yesterday watching this liberal show on TV is that he was talking about Texas and through that he talked about American election that is coming on, like a presidential election this year. And he of, of course talked about a bit about Trump and Biden too, but yeah, he was misleading our people here by saying like, oh, America has this situation that illegal people are crossing the border illegally. And then he introduced this church in Texas that was accepting all these people, helping them out with clothes and shoes, and they give them the location that they could go and so on, basically helping the illegal immigrants, saying that it's what Christianity is for, that Christian people, they help those who that need help, so I was like, huh? Right. But anyway, yeah. And then he went on the explanation of how America is based on immigration, like the country is based on immigration and blah blah blah. And in my head I kept thinking like, oh, did he just mix like legal immigrants with illegal immigrants, because they are totally different things. But he just mixed everything and called them like immigrants, and went on with the story about how America is based, the society is based on immigration and blah blah blah. And I tweeted instantly, when that happened, like, did he just mix that up? And then I looked up how my like the fellow Japanese people are like how they are reacting to that part, and there were lots of people that were reacting the same as me, like, what is wrong with this guy, So, so immigrants too, yeah, like when you have lots of immigrants, like illegals, legal people, they made so much effort to become part of your community, become part of your country, and they are part of you. But all these illegals, they have their nationality back home, they're not Americans, and so you shouldn't give them all the rights that they want. They first, like, if they want to become Americans, I think that they need to learn what it is to live under the country of rule of law. That should be the first thing that they learn. And then what the country is built on, like what America is. Like, if they don't know it, what, like, why are they there, given the rights that people fought for to establish. Mm. Hmm. America isn't ahead now, it's behind. America got rid of most of worship yards. 34 trillion in money debt, infiltrated, falling apart, other money currencies. But it's still huge though. Maybe it's not ideal right now. It is, of course, like you have ups and downs. But look at China, for example, your competitor. They're facing this financial, like, economic crisis right now. It starts with real estate, and then the whole economy. Problem for us Japanese is that our economy is tied with China so much so that when they sink down, we will sink down together. So we are trying to prevent us from going to that direction. But even China, your competitor, that's number 2 in the world, is suffering right like that right now. So it's not only you and your country that is going through that. The whole world right now is just in this crazy situation. Russia too, they keep on with the war, and they even have to get a help from North Korea. Like, that's how low they are right now. So I wouldn't. Yeah, of course we need to fix our situation, but It's funny watching illegal immigrants driving than to on the Civic with no muffler and mismatched colors. Oh my gosh, terrible. Yeah. Whenever I see an old ship box on the road, it's almost always on illegal. Crazy. I'm waiting for the people to do the save us daddy government. Yeah, liberals, they were looking for the right. They wanted that to happen. Like this situation is exactly what liberal wanted. So now, what do you think, right? Illegal, that's a problem. Yeah, America going down mostly from legal migration, and the wrong people have been let in, and too many is a disaster. America is huge, so that's why. Japan is, we have the our population is only 1/3 of your country, and we don't have as much land as you do. You have a big country. どう思いますか？なんかアメリカの移民。
移民？
うん。
異常？
いや、不法移民がね、の話ね。いや移民全体の。うん。うん。
数字が大きすぎる。
Yeah, illegal immigrants. The number is too massive, according to my husband. Too massive. I'll copy my husband. Too massive. My husband has a weird way of gesture. In public, when he leaves me, like when we are dating, on a date, I mean, we walk around and he points a direction where we are going. He's like, and he guides me that way instead of saying, "Hey, let's go that way." He's like, and then I follow like a commander. And just now he said, "Oh, the illegal immigrants in America too massive." Anyway, you're getting it, Yoko. All of this, what you said, is all by design internationally. Yes. The diversity that liberals want is actually the diversity that just happened in Moscow. Those are Muslims attacking Russians. It's in that diversity, basically. Like, what would you do in that diversity? It doesn't happen. It's the proof that it doesn't happen because there is a conflict. Not gonna happen that way when you believe in different things or when you are from different places. Oh yeah, one thing that I would want to share with you is the design of our society. Like in Japan, like our election is not gonna be stolen. Like it's almost impossible to do like frauds, but it is easy in America. Why? The most important thing is that, just like I said before, our like city halls and so on, our local authority has all this personal information, which probably American conservatives wouldn't like. But our personal information is stored and managed by local authorities and our country. And right now we have, like, just like you have social security number, we have so-called my number card. We have a card now. And then even though our information, it was separated depending on the those ministry that is in charge of the genre, like medical fields and financial fields and so on. Like depending on the field, we had to go to different places, and all these different places, they were not sharing information. So we had to go separately to many times, right? But now, like, they are integrating everything together. And so things are becoming easier and easier to manage too, I think. It could be dangerous when it comes to like cyber attacks and so on, but still, that's how we are doing. And also, like, they have all the records of our information too, like where we lived, and then like when we move, of course we have to register too. So that sort of things. And we have the home history too, that, oh, I am the daughter of this guy, and this guy is registered at this place when he was born and stuff like that. We have that information of home too. So like, and everything is just managed so well, starting from that information. So in like when the election time comes, our authority sends us all this cards, to, and it becomes your voting card, basically. Like, you give that to the at the place of voting, and then they will give you the voting sheet or paper. So stuff like that. So if foreigners, for example, when they want to live here, they need some kind of certificate to live here, like they have a card for foreigners, and then without that they can't even rent a place to live. So even if you come here illegally, you can't have a life unless some legal people help you out, I guess, with like, but who would want to do that, like letting all these illegals live in your place for long and they can't even get a job. But anyway, I gotta go, I guess. It's been over an hour. Your husband is correct. Thank you. Yeah. Oh yeah, freedom だね。誰か書いとった、誰か書いとった。Oh yeah, freedom! I knew he was gonna say that in Braveheart at the end. Like, any last word. And I'm like, I said before, freedom! Like, I knew he was gonna, that was gonna happen somehow. Because I'm politically active, I just knew. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for your comments, guys. Oh yeah, Ted Cruz at CPAC last year. Freedom. Yes, Ted Cruz. Foreigners in Japan are all subversive, and they will say things like diversity is a strength. They've been saying that, and we are smashing them down. Just so you know. Each time, I feel like Japanese people are becoming stronger and stronger because of the help of social media. That we are vocal now. We are vocal. The reason why Japan was, we had problems with China or South Korea before, but that is because we were so silent. Because we thought that was the attitude that we should have. Like, we have the culture of just enduring, to just stay quiet and just wait for it, to pass or to resolve itself and stuff like that. But now we are learning how to live on this global stage, and we are also like vocal now because we are proud now. And so yeah, I'm not too worried about it, all this diversity crap, because we are living in a diverse society now, and what the diversity that the left says is not diversity. So we just point that out. Again, our culture is very diverse. It's different from Western countries with one religion. we are full of lots of different religious values and cultural values, and we like that about our country. It's pretty chaotic in a way. Everything is mixed here. The image of Japan that foreigners have, especially Westerners have, often is wrong. The image of Japan often is wrong. Japan is not the way that you picture. So we live in this diverse countries. So Fukuta no Sekai Jiji News talks about how woke American culture infected Japan's gaming industry. Interesting. But my specialty, like my profession though, is human rights and national security. So I'm not really into all this cultural talks because it's endless. It's something that keeps revolving, and I will talk about like immigration policies and so on, for example. But other than that, like cultural values and so on, it's something that is like, I don't know, like there are things that I need to do first, if you know what I mean. But thank you though. Anyway, I gotta go now. Yes, I gotta eat with my husband. He's waiting. He's so ready. He's so ready. Like I see kimchi right there with he's prepared now. Anyway, thank you so much, guys, for staying up. I know that it's late for majority of you. Thank you so much. And thank you, Yoko and Chef Hide in chat. Thank you. I really enjoyed our talk. Again, thank you so much for sticking to the end. Let's talk again next week. Okay, I will try to come earlier so that you don't have to stay up late. Okay, anyway, thank you and have a great night and sweet dreams if you are gonna go to sleep. Thank you. A Discord friend. Okay. Thank you. Okay, thanks, guys. Have a good day or night. Bye.